ground backyard or above ground public pool setting? Where are we?
In-grown, in-grown backyard, in-ground backyard.
Okay. In-ground backyard. There you go. See here. Let's get this refreshed. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Let's Paint and Draw Along this Sunday evening. I want to thank you for joining us. We are making something from nothing, a pool scene. Looking forward to feeling like I'm diving into the waters, the chlorine-filled waters of a pool in the backyard of someone's house. Maybe it's your house, the one you want to have. My name is Nadine. I'm here with Don Stephens and one of our Facebook fam or our Let's Paint and Draw Along fam, art fam members. Jill is here. Jill. How's everyone doing? Listen, if you're checking in with us right now, I want you to like this video and share it, share it, share it, share it. We appreciate that very, very much. Don's here. It looks like portrait. Yes. So grab your writing, drawing implements, get that paper together. We are about to create, and we are glad that you are here with us.
Hey, Nadine, are you ready?
Yes.
Hey, what are you ready with?
We're looking at
Are you going
in-ground.
straight with your Sharpie or are you going just with your pencil?
That's
So
good.
everybody, pull your Sharpies out. Pull your pencils out. Pull your erasers out. You see, we're not really dealing with color right now. So, see our dilemma. What is the dilemma? How are we going to get this on here to give people a feeling of being at the edge of a pool and what that feels like? There shouldn't be anybody on here or anywhere in the, how would you say, digital sphere that hasn't had an experience at a pool. Don't care what your language is at this point, you've all been in a pool.
For sure.
A makeshift beach. That's why they made pools. I don't want to go to the lake. I want the lake to be at my house. Let's put a pool in. Yeah, that's where they came from.
Right?
So now you want the lake at your house. You see, you got to go through all of that too, everybody. Because in the understanding of, or comical understanding of why we got the pools, you see what I'm saying? That's why I was so quiet, Nadine, because you got to be quiet sometimes to listen to see what's going on. What direction are we navigating in? So me as the map maker, I can know what map we gonna make. You see how that works, everybody? So sometimes I can't jump out the gate being, how would you say, entertaining. Yeah. I got to sit back, you know what I mean? And say, okay, everyone, where are we going? And then, and then Sue-Ann comes in. Thanks for being here, Sue-Ann. I still had to be quiet still to listen to see what your vibe was. Listen to see hear Nadine's vibe. Okay, y'all cool. Y'all okay. All right. Here we go. Backyard. Okay. All right. So now look, we got to do what? Think about where we're going to put that horizon line or eye level to be able to get the best out of what we want to see. So remember, we're not worrying about the sky, are we? So if I'm not worried about the sky and I want to show more of the backyard, I would put more of a higher level to the horizon line, eye level. Would you say?
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
Oh, I heard Sue Ann that time with it too.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
higher,
she's,
higher, Don, higher. Yeah.
yeah.
But if we go too high, then we have to describe more of the yard, more of the ground immediate on the person or hypothetical person that may be there taking this scene in, or this is you in your mind's eye taking this scene in. I'm still going to work it from the idea of just putting in shapes and lines, basically. So we don't have to complicate ourselves with the idea of perspective. We can just go on with the spirit of perspective. All right. So what I would do is I would say, okay, that's my horizon line, eye level, whatever the case may be. I want more of the pool to show. So now I'm going to do like this arching thing. So it can seem like that's the edge of the pool on the opposite side of the pool there. All right. Yeah, is there a walkway around it? Let's put a walkway by just putting a slightly arched line right about there. See that, everybody?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So we got that started. See? So then now what we can do is put a line here like this, and then as you're going out, do it like a clock and make it slant. That's going to look like pavement. You see that, everybody? See what I did, right?
Yeah.
Keep it there for a second. So I know that's one of those angles that everybody thinks, oh my God, that's perspective. I got to know perspective to do an arch like that. No, you don't. All you got to do is understand what center is and how that functions to you as a human being, to use that as a template of creating a space when something needs to be pulled from nothing. Just think about it. What would that be? What would that be? Yep. And this way, what? You can put a rubber ducky here if you want to. Put a head.
Oh, yes, you got to have a rubber ducky.
Yeah. Put that. And then you can put almost like it's on an inner tube thing.
So this is a big rubber ducky. Like you, oh, yeah.
It's in the pool. It's next to you.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's facing away from you. There you go. I did a tube type of one. The water is inside there. Yep. So that's on the water. So let's start doing some stuff to make it appear in pool water. Just real early. You can put wavy lines in there, like so. Just for right now. You know, what else? What else? Well, maybe there's a fence back here in this yard. And by the size of this fence, it has to be way out there. So we on 1.5 acres or something like this.
Okay.
Make it a fence by putting the lines in there like so. If you want, you can be meticulous and have a certain measurement for how many of those links is in there. But for a general idea, that's all I want you to do. I want you to feel like that's a partition, a wall that you're about to hit. Yep. So that's the yard back there. Fence should be small. The fence is big, then we have to move the scene further back from the end of the pool. See how we're working it?
Yeah, I'm actually surprised.
Are you surprised?
I don't know. I am.
That's because you're not really taking into account what we talk about when we talk about this all the time. And that's why I put it up there. This is what I'm able to assist people with when they take classes and everything else. But it's up to you guys to, how would you say, believe in it and be able to apply and see how it's applied when we say line, shape, form, which is space, light, and surface. That's why I said what I said to you when you said made your opening statements, is because I don't think you really understand how much that is really your world. Now I'm going to stop drawing for a moment so we can talk about how that's part of your world.
I mean,
How we have to control it
how do we have to?
in this way.
Well, I mean, is it our world because it's our imagination or what?
Okay, I'll answer you this way. Where else have you been that you can be able to, how would you say, perceive a world that you haven't seen?
In my dreams. I
Where
mean,
are those dreams coming from? And what are those dreams utilizing?
okay, so our dreams have a lot to do with our memories and recall.
What are your
Uh,
memories?
our memories are experiences that we've
What are the
had.
experiences?
There, there are times where something happened.
See how you trying to be so prolific and you're missing the simplicity in the matter?
But I mean, I guess I was just trying to answer like
No,
what
you're
that
trying to
is.
sound real scientifical and intriguing instead of just being simplistic. Simplicity is the thing. What are
So,
edges? Edges are lines. Aren't
right.
edges all around you? Everywhere
Y-
you go, no matter
y-
what you want to say or talk about, no matter what language you're in, you
yes.
still have to look at all this matter or whatever we want to call this out here, since
Mm-hmm.
everybody, trying to figure out what something from nothing really is. You're pulling the
Mm-hmm.
nothing. The nothing is the aspects of you don't have a direct source.
Right.
So the source is going to come from what? The experiences that you have within where you're living. You're not living on Mars,
Mm-hmm.
right? You can perceive a Mars once you get
Mm-hmm.
certain things, but you're not living on Mars.
Right.
So a lot of your experiences are going to stem from what? Your actual life's experiences on what? This plane,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
looking at these edges. So then when you have a whole pool of edges that you already know in your mind from your experiences from zero all the way up to wherever you at, 50 above or 50 below,
Mm-hmm.
you can see where your ideas are being pulled from.
Mm-hmm.
I put those little shapes there. You believe that there's a pool there with a rubber ducky in it.
Yes.
Why? Because I'm using the ideas of line, shape, form, light, and surface, the way
Mm-hmm.
human beings have to be attracted. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
doing the artwork for other forms on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
If I knew how a rock perceived things, I would just do it from a rock's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not a rock.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing it from a human experience, a human thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what has to be looked at. How you pulling the nothing from something.
Mm-hmm.
The something is your experiences, possible.
Yeah.
The something is your understanding of positioning based upon, the perceived idea of what perspective is.
Mm-hmm.
So where am I if I'm doing this scene? I'm sitting right in the front. You're really seeing my point of view. The
Mm-hmm.
same thing with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
That square, the edges of your page, is your point of view, your world.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody said you couldn't imagine things, but we're not imagining. We're making up a pool scene. So why do you have to imagine it if you already had the experience to pool from?
Okay.
You had the time and the motion or the motion and movement experience, which we call time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You remember those things based upon it becoming a memory.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now you're pulling from your memories, which is pulling from your experiences.
Mm-hmm.
How many places have you been where there's been a fence in a pool type of setting that made you feel like this, like where we're at right now? You don't have to put the rubber ducky, you can put something else.
Right.
The whole point is that I'm trying to figure out why you shot.
I I don't know. I just like we just went through you were leading us in this process, right? Of pulling something from nothing, from our experiences. And as I was making the lines and the marks, right? I was kind of amazed at, even though we're just at this stage, I'm there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still trying to look and see why would you be shocked, because you're there in your mind.
I know, but I guess I'm
So
easily
whatever you
excited.
see in your mind, you should be at this time, once again, through understanding line, shape, form, light, and surface, be
Mm-hmm,
able to put these things out. Because
mm-hmm,
now if we go to the sky and we say, oh, what's going to be in the sky? Oh,
mm-hmm,
is there any trees and things? So then now I can say, oh, it's a tree right here. Or one of those trees that looks like this, that's a bush that's done and manicured in such a way.
mm-hmm.
Maybe like this. Maybe on this side, we can do more of your rounder type of trees. See? Right at the edge of the fence. See that?
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
uh, our pine tree type of feel. You see? So you can
Mm-hmm.
have some taller trees. Let's see here. Why not put a neighbor over here if you had to, or put, a house that's sitting right here. So you would possibly see the top of the house where the roof would be. You see? That could probably be a neighbor. See where we can go with that?
Wow.
You know? Why not put another little part of the house here and say that you have neighbors over here? Maybe put a smaller one and say that you're in a small urban or suburban rather environment.
Mm-hmm.
See that? Does it feel like that on the board? When
It's,
you think
yeah,
about these things,
yeah, absolutely.
see, we're not thinking about it from an aerial perspective, where I
Mm-hmm,
might be on the second floor of the deck of the house, looking down on the pool, looking down on the neighborhood from the backyard. I'm in a neighborhood where we got at least 1 acre or half an acre around it, you see, to be able to have a pool that size and to have fencing seen that far off.
mm-hmm,
You're in that type of area wherever you are, watching the video.
mm-hmm,
That means if you're in the Delaware Valley, you could be in South Jersey, you can be in Lower Bucks County, Northeast idea. You can be Upper Darby, you know what I mean, Delaware County out that
mm-hmm,
way.
mm-hmm,
You could be a little bit above Chester, going towards Delaware that way. Let's see, you could be going towards Atlantic County, after you get over the bridges to get into the Jersey side that way. Let's see, towards the shore points,
mm-hmm,
going towards Mercer County of New Jersey to go out towards the counties that's going towards the shores and everything else. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
just to pluck out areas. So then look around you if you're in Maryland, if you're in Virginia, if you're in North Carolina, what type of backyards would be in your area,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Like, come on, Nadine, you have a backyard. Is there any views that would compare with this from your backyard views?
Yeah, I got an old garage, so um the house behind the bush on the right-hand side would fit there. The fencing would be, yes, that would work. Yep, I could see that. I could totally see that.
Yeah, but that's the basis of how you would see, point of view of everybody. That's why TV works,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Right.
So you're saying your screen is that. You're saying that your page is that. You're saying that
Mm-hmm.
your canvas is that, everybody. That's why it shouldn't be shocking to you at this point. It should be more so, can I make you believe it?
Right.
Can I make you believe on this flat piece of paper that this place actually exists? Like if I took a photograph,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you can can even put hands in there.
Hands?
Yeah, you could put hands acting like it's part of the scene too as well. What I mean by that is if we do that, that means that we're saying that we're doing it from the point of view actually of the person that's sitting here in the pool.
Mm-hmm.
You see?
Oh, yeah.
And then I might be even with my left hand now. This is my left hand.
Uh-huh.
I might even be scrolling on the computer, about to take a shot of this with my PDA screen.
Mm-hmm.
Now I erase that out here, erase out here for where the finger is, erase out here. And now look what we got.
Wow. Huh.
So then if you wanted to, you can put inside here where the screen would be, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then now you can put in there smaller the scene that you're doing. See it?
Yeah.
Still not done. That's just the basics, just to get it to go. For
Mm-hmm.
placement, you're simplifying. What else could be in there?
Oh, wow.
We're not at a beach, so we're in somebody's backyard, USA.
Beach
Definitely a
ball.
warm climate. All right, you still want to bring in ideas of a beach inside the backyard. So it's proving the point on why you would have a swimming pool, because you're mimicking the
Mm-hmm.
feeling of when you would be in a natural place. So we can say that the ball is smaller and over here,
Mm-hmm.
floating on the water at the edge of the pool, where some of that stuff winds up being when you don't mess with it for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Put your little cube thing and then put the dividers on it. And then now put a little bit of a underneath of it so it can seem like it's on the water.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's cool.
Yep.
That's super
See what
cool.
happens? You start saying where things gonna go. If you're already controlling the distance, that means that everything on that side over there has to be smaller to give off the idea of the distance and the vastness in the backyard.
Mm-hmm.
If this is a person that has this type of, how would you say, spacing around them. But when you think in ground, you don't think tight spaces. You think, ample space. Wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
you say?
Yes, absolutely.
So that's why I want to say we're not trying to say, oh, if you don't have an in-ground pool, you don't really know. No.
Mm-hmm.
We started off by asking the question where, and the where
Mm-hmm.
that came out was an underground pool in a backyard, USA. Now, if you
You
really think about it, everybody, when you think about a pool, when you start seeing in-ground pools, these are places where people have space.
right.
So this is not anybody trying to say something social economic or anything else. We're just trying to say what's fact. If you have an in-ground situation, I don't care where you're at, it's not in a tight space. It's not a jacuzzi. And if it's a
Mm-hmm.
jacuzzi, that's an above ground pool. So then that's where it depends upon your imagination at that point. But then
Mm-hmm.
what are we ultimately imagining as a human being when we put water in a container under or above ground around our domicile? We're trying to say we're bringing the natural phenomenon to our house.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We're saying that when somebody says, "Oh, let's go to the beach," it's like, no, let's go in the backyard. I got this in-ground pool back here. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Let's have a party.
Yeah. You know, nobody said anything about a slide.
Yeah.
You see, some people have slides or a diving board at least, right?
Mhm. Some
Yeah.
people do.
Yeah. So then I'll do a slide. We can start up here, make it small, and then make it get wide down here. Do it like so. Make it small up there as it curves, make it wider down here. And then we can
Mhm.
make it stop somewhere around there. You see?
Mhm.
Now I erase out all of that. And whatever is covering, I erase it out. So then
Mhm.
I can say that's where that item is, this right there. So then now I can put some things on here that may feel like holes in the ground that's holding that up. You see?
Mhm.
We can even put a little edge on it, make it more so like a round shape, because most of the time they are. Put your little round handles up here for holding on.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, that looks like a slide I wouldn't be on in somebody's backyard. I would climb up that. You see? Now we could
Mhm.
have made it difficult by doing the spiral one, but I didn't want to take you there, so we just took you with a regular old one, regular old slide, 70s style.
70s style.
Yeah, you had the straight one. I used to have pictures of me in backyards, other people's backyards, my auntie's backyard. She had the diving board. She didn't have the slide.
Mhm.
So she had the diving board with the in-ground. So you know what I mean? Yeah. So some people houses I would go to during those times, because you're in suburbia, people would have different things that they would have at their house.
Mhm.
You know, we still
Wow.
have ample space to deal with things, to add more things in. What else could we add in?
Uh, Birds in the sky, clouds.
You want clouds on a day when you're at the pool.
Well, the the, the
I
pretty
don't know what
clouds.
you're talking about. Pretty. All clouds are pretty to me. They're all a
Uh-huh.
natural phenomenon. So when you say clouds to me, I'm looking at it from being able to talk from where we're talking from. You know,
Mhm.
we're controlling everything within this environment that we're building. Then what type of weather is going on?
Mhm.
Well, for this individual to be outside in the pool, cell phone out, rubber ducky, I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would hope that's a nice clear day. And if it's a nice clear day, I would do clouds like so, like those long, dreamy type of clouds
Mhm.
that are way upper atmosphere.
Mhm.
See? And then do them on a curve idea, just to play with the idea of what's going on in your environment. You see? Now, I've seen some backyards like this, and this wouldn't be your early morning. This would be more so going towards dusk,
Mhm.
the latter portion of the day, like how we're in right now.
Mhm.
You would see clouds like that, and the sun would be setting, you know what I mean, or doing what we call setting.
Mhm.
If we put heavier clouds there, it's going to look like storm clouds
Right.
or feel like storm clouds or a storm front. Notice how I'm not making the arm the same width
Mhm.
as the one that's coming to the edge of the page. It has to be bigger. The wrist
Mhm.
has to be smaller.
Mhm.
Just like if I put my hand in this scene right here that we're looking at, look at what I'm doing.
Mhm.
My hand and my wrist is smaller than my forearm coming off or out of the screen.
Mhm.
I'm saying that because I'm looking at yours, Nadine, and I can see that you're having an issue with that. You got
Yeah.
to make the hand smaller.
Mhm.
You see?
Mhm.
Even if I put the cup in my hand, you have to do your hand smaller
Okay.
than your wrist and then the forearm leading to the edge of the page,
Mhm.
because the edge of the page is making it feel like that's your point of view. That might
Mhm.
be your arm.
Mhm.
So in other words, Nadine, if you can see me, you made everything the same size all the way through,
Mhm.
right? You did everything the same size. Wrist
Mhm.
is the same size. The forearm is the same size. You see what you
Yeah.
did?
Yeah.
That's why it's not feeling like it's bending.
Mhm.
So in other words, to get that idea to go, it should be wider back here, going inward into your seam. You see,
Mhm.
cut short. Then now the forearm should be put into the wrist even smaller, like so. Which
Mhm.
one is giving you that feeling? This one or this one?
The second one.
Right. And then now the camera would be as so to show where that thumb is there, you see? And then now that, device would be in the hand like so.
Mhm.
So what seems more real is this one. This one is just seems more imaginary. It's
Mhm.
not that it's wrong, it's just that would it make us believe it that it's real?
Mhm.
See? That's where I say there is no wrong and right then. You just trying to make us feel, is it real? Then what type of angles do we have to put in, or lines that we have to put in, or edges that we have to take into consideration to make a person feel like that's a personal view of somebody
Mhm.
sitting on something on a device, or maybe sitting on the opposite side of the pool with their feet
Mhm.
in the water. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's better. You see how it feels now?
Yes. Think so.
Yeah, you see?
Okay.
But I would make that line that you have for where the elbow and the forearm meet a curve more so than a line. Because if you curve it, it seems more real than that
Mhm.
creasing line that you have there. See, that's what lets you know if a person understands the human body.
Mhm.
Look at your arm and you'll see that if you put your arm out in front of you and it's your left hand, what do we have to have in there to take into consideration? That's the
Mhm.
curved line that I'm talking
Mhm.
about right here.
Mhm.
So you have it like this now, but you don't have it smaller out here so it can feel like what we're looking at on the screen.
Mhm.
But now you have it like this, so then now you just have a straight line here
Mhm.
where it should be a curve right here. Because
Mhm.
the elbow is on the inside. If we're saying this is the thumb, that's the left hand.
Mhm.
You see? So that's just for anybody and everybody that's trying to understand the human form and how you would make that up to as well. You're using yourself as a template. Whether it's male or female on the board or in the piece is not the issue. The issue is, can you make us believe that that's a human arm? And which arm is it? You see, because then now what we can do is, because look, that person would 9 times out of 10 be like, what? Have a tank top on. They wouldn't have a short sleeve on necessarily. So then now this is where you start playing with how the wrist and the forearm looks. You see,
Mhm.
because I got the palm up. So then that forearm would be like so. So on the inside of the arm, here, that's where the inside of the palm of the hand is. You see? So then your forearm definitely moves like that. This muscle here now is more so like this because that's how the tendon is. And then the curve for the for the bicep, tricep right there. And that's how you would see it because you would have to have that space here. So that's the elbow, and then now that's the underneath of the arm. Bicep, tricep, forearm, so on and so forth. In other words, look at the natural lines or natural edges of your world and perceive them in your piece.
Mhm.
If you don't have a pool, what would that pool look like? You never been on a slide or a straight slide, what would that look like? How would that look? What type of slide would be in you? I know what you're seeing on the screen, but what would be in
Mhm.
yours in your personal world? Could you change it up? Notice how we didn't talk about perspective per se, but we're using the different sizes of things to perceive or make a presumption of what space may be. See, now have you ever seen clouds uniform in the sky? I just want to ask that. Maybe in a
No.
dream world, yeah. But if we're mimicking and saying we wanted to look real, have you ever seen small clouds all stay in alignment, perfect alignment in your area?
Not perfect, but I did see one scene where it seemed like it was like
One more time, you don't see
ripples.
it. That's a presumption. You're perceiving it. That you'll never have them all line up in a row. That's why I did them like that on the board. Because they all have to ride on the cusp of air. Then I can do cross ones up higher that'll seem like they're higher up to show what's going on in the upper atmosphere in my piece. That's if I wanted to go that far. Do I want to put birds and all of this stuff? Well, that's once again, that's up to you. And then I would pick up a makeshift shape that I'm making to say that's a bird. Oh boy, my marker is having issues. But let me get another marker, everybody, or try to get it. Because now I just think I'll just go black. Yeah, man. Or I can go red. See, that one might go. So now I use the red one to make these C shapes in the sky. Put a little dot or line in it if you want to. You see? Maybe they're circling something that they found in a yard next door. I don't know. You know? Try to position the line for the body, because what happens is that I can do it this way, right? And then put a little triangle in the back if I wanted to, you see? Or you can change it and make it look like it's coming more towards you. And then the tail would either be down, like that, you see? See those basic shapes there?
Yes.
Do they feel like birds flying?
Yes.
Yeah. Those would be the basic shapes that you're looking for. But now you would make them at certain distances. If they're right in your yard, then they'll be the size of the red that I just did on the left side. If they're further away and up in the sky, then they're like the red ones that I put in the scene. You know, now you can get to describing things, you know. Where's the light coming from? You see?
Oh yeah, we definitely have to.
This is all the stuff you control. So remember the idea from last time. Do it like it's like a clock. You see? You see? Do it like it's like a clock, and you decide what direction you want that light to come in. Like I was saying, to me, because of the clouds and everything, it was feeling like more so like dusk. This would be considered dawn on this side, early morning.
Gotcha.
And that's the only reason why we do now. Would that be challenged and be changed, or could it be different? Could it be flip-flop? Yes, depending upon what direction you say we're looking in. You see, but to simplify, to make it a more, how would you say, easier idea to manipulate, then yeah, we'll set it up with a left to right idea, because that's what you do in Westernized civilization. You base things on the way that you see order. So we read from left to right. So the left side will be dawn, the right side will be dusk. Yep.
Oh, just got a message on Rumble from Accidentally Suave, our buddy over at Rumble. Says you are such a great teacher, Don. Thanks for streaming. And he gave us a lot of emojis, and he also put it out to everybody on Rumble in the art realm to like our video. And he
Thank
gave
you,
me
my
a long
friend.
thing.
And all we're trying to do is just get more humans to connect with their real world to understand how it moves so you can manipulate and utilize it more. So thank you.
Yeah,
You know,
much appreciated. Much appreciated.
not here to try to prove or disprove anything, flat, round, or no. How does a human being perceive the world to be able to use it to pull something from nothing? You see, this is the bottom line of what everybody wants to do. Sometimes people either they can't get out to locations or they don't want to go. So how can you bring these type of things to life? This is where you can look at TV or the internet and see a tropical scene.
Yes.
And now put yourself in that mind state of that you're there. And then be able to dictate, what's happening in that sphere. The same way we're doing here. So if you utilize the idea of line, shape, form, light, and surface. Line is nothing more than us looking at an edge or us perceiving an edge. Right now, we're perceiving all edges. That means all the way up to the finite, the clouds. We're saying what type of clouds, what type of edges of clouds is going to be there is going to dictate what type of day. So Nadine made some mention, I believe Suan made some mention, and I was like, I don't know about heavy clouds, guys. So in mind, I put it this way so you can have an aspect of understanding what does a calm sky possibly look like. If you ever look up, maybe we'll make people look up at this point by doing things like this, because now you have to look up to be able to understand what the edges of clouds look like and how do they move.
Yes.
I
totally. I don't know which episode that we did where we were doing the clouds. And then from that point on, I just kept looking at the clouds. How are these clouds different than others? Then I started doing what Miss Jewel does. And she posts, she posts cloud shots and whatever, just from walking out in everyday life. And it so inspired me. And then so I started posting clouds and whatnot. And then, now I'm obsessed with clouds.
Yeah, you're obsessed with observing now more so than just the clouds, but the beautiful phenomenon or, senses are being tweaked so you can have an experience, so you can pull something from nothing. When you take pictures like that, you see those fluffy clouds up there, or you see those calm little small clouds way up there. What's that darkness on the bottom? Well, it's sitting on air. And most people don't understand those basic constructs of what a cloud is before you get to all the different names of it and what's the height, of clouds and things. Well, if a cloud is on the ground, it's fog, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, fog, yeah.
That's what fog is, a cloud on the ground. And after you take that idea and take it further, you'll understand what clouds are. You know what I mean? And, without sounding religious or losing a religio, that's the firmament idea. You know what I mean? Because everybody thinks that stuff is just water, like solid water we're looking at for sea or a lake or drinking water, but air can be considered water too, because you have to move the same way through air that you have to move the same way through water. You just notice it more in water because you have matter all around you.
Right.
Whereas the matter around you, when we talk about air, is not decisive, not unless you feel air moving. Then when you feel the force of the air moving, then you'll be like, wow, that was just like almost like swimming. Yeah. You see?
Almost.
Yeah.
Almost like swimming.
So look, what else I like doing in these pieces, you guys know by now, I like hot air balloons.
Yes, you do. You put a hot air balloon in a picture like quick.
You know it quick. I'll do it quick. No problem. This one we're gonna put way up in the air because they're over a residential area. So they wouldn't be too close to the ground. You see how that feels way up in the sky there?
Oh, yeah.
That red ball that I did, you barely can see it. All I did was, if you want to do it, you can do it as a smaller version. All I did was a circle, right, everybody? I put the support line around it, then draw the lines that go down to the basket. Depends upon the point of view that you want to take, you're going to see the bottom always of the basket. You see? Another line here, you can do one from the opposite side. See how it feels like a basket floating now?
Mm-hmm.
So whether I do it smaller like this, I'll put another one in there. You see?
Mm-hmm.
Or I do it a little bit bigger. So then it seems like it's more immediately over my area. You see?
Mm-hmm.
And then I use the power of three for you so you can feel that idea.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that's happening in the natural realm, you can use as a something for nothing because it'll only be changed to something based upon how you're saying it's existing in your world that you're making. I know that sounds like a real, tongue twister there, I just said.
Mm-hmm.
But, if you really look at it, that's what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Everything in nature, you know, and nature is anything that's around you,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's man or actual nature.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, nature.
Do you know it? The proverbial mother nature, things like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See, and I didn't have to hurt anybody or mess with anybody by saying, is it a globe? Is it flat? Is it this? No, we just worried about how would a human being exist here.
Mm-hmm.
So we're showing an interpretation of relaxation, or how would you say, you know what I mean? Chilling in the backyard, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Relaxing in the backyard, you would say. I could put another hand in there holding a glass of lemonade. It's still about that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to support alcoholism, everybody, so that's why I say a glass of lemonade.
Yeah.
So next to my rubber ducky, I'm gonna put a hand here
Rubber
that looks
ducky.
like. Hold on, I just remembered my marker was acting silly. So let's see if I put the cap on it, if it bring it back to life. Just a little bit. We'll make it work. So I would put a glass right here to fill in space right here. You see, put some cubes in it, or just put a bunch of squares in there, sideways and diagonal. You see all these different ways to show ice. Then I may put a little line in there for where the lemonade will be, in and around the ice. Maybe some lemon slices, maybe a lemon slice right on the edge here. Yeah, eh, just like so. Yeah. And then now maybe I can put a hand. This will be the right hand then. So this will be the wrist here to have this hand doing this. You see? And now you would erase out that whole area so you can make everything easier by simplifying. Notice we didn't have to argue about what's foreshortening,
Mm-hmm.
perspective ideas. It's just based upon shape. You know what I mean? In the distance, that hand would have to wrap around that side there, you see? So now
Mm-hmm.
we make that a definite edge where the hand is going around. So now I have a hand holding lemonade or soft drink. Let's put the rest of the rubber ducky back in here. They say that might be at the edge of the pool there. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Now we can make the rubber ducky look more round. What would make you, if at that angle you would see the inside of the rubber ducky. As soon as you put a line like this curving, and then put a line curving like this, and then now all the lines on the head, you would turn this way. Look at how now that rubber ducky really looks like he has a direction that he's definitely looking in. not because we just have the beat there. Then we can put a little triangle to say that's the thing, blow it up.
Mhm.
You see?
Yes, absolutely.
You see, then that's when, once you get your composition together, then that's when you start going in and describing it. And then now tripping down the form idea. What is that form looking at from that point of view that I sat it?
Mhm.
You know, now all the angles would have to do what? Face towards that center line. Why? Because we're saying that that's us, that's me, that's you,
Mhm.
that's
Mhm.
every human being that's looking at this scene.
Mhm.
They would close their eyes and their hands would be doing that rather than my hands doing it, rather than your hands doing it, your scene.
Mhm.
And you see now how it doesn't seem like it's overcrowded, but it really does feel like a scene where overlaps are happening in your point of view to make us
Mhm.
believe things in an environment,
Yes, absolutely.
you know, and then now it's only a question of how much of a real world sensation do you want us to have?
Mhm.
You see how that happens? So now you can leave it simplified if you wanted to. And it could
Mhm.
look cartoony. That's okay. You know, the persons that may look at your perception, they may say, oh, it looks good, but it looks real cartoony. Don't take
Mhm.
offense to that. That's nothing to take offense of. If they look at your piece and say, oh my God, what is that?
Mhm.
A pool? That's not a pool. But then now you have a problem. You see what I'm saying? Because
But
now
they
what is,
did say, oh, well, is that a pool?
yeah, you see what I'm saying, right, Nadine? They still
Yeah,
said the word that we were searching for. They just didn't say they liked it.
right.
So to me, that's a win.
Yeah.
Even when somebody's trying to be negative, or what we would call negative or judgmental,
Mhm.
it's a human trait. We have to do it. So that's what I tell people when I'm instructing or coaching is like, don't worry about the judgment. They have to do it. You're doing it for human beings. You must expect the finger to be pointing.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because if you don't, then what are you saying? You absolutely know what every human being needs to see to be calm, to be able to be to walk with you. You know,
Mhm.
everybody wants to know that secret right there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
You package that one, you're more than a trillionaire right there.
Mhm.
You know, you might get assassinated for that idea. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, because that's a billion trillion dollar industry buster thought right there.
Mhm.
If I actually can sit down and say, I absolutely know how to attract a human being based upon linear equations. Oh, what? Everybody wants that equation because I want to know how to get a human being to partake in my experience more.
Right.
Here, give me $5. 50,000 of you give me $5 a piece for this drawing right here. And I'm going to give you
Mhm.
a copy of it. Yeah.
Mhm.
5 times 50,000. Who wouldn't want that?
Absolutely.
Okay. Hey, so it's the same thing for us in this visual digital world right here. Man,
Mhm.
if we can get 5,000 views, my God, what would that do? Yeah.
Mhm.
Spread the notion out there in Rumble. Thanks to everyone out there. And thanks to
Yeah.
all the newer and the older peripherals that we're on. We
Abs-
appreciate you all. But if your peripheral doesn't permit certain easy movement, decisions have to be made. And
Mhm.
sometimes, unfortunately, you have to take a specific little break from some of these environments until they bring certain notions back. And that's what I
Yes.
would say about that. Letting you guys know that I was listening to the earlier conversation before the cameras came on. Ha ha ha.
Mhm. Ha ha ha.
Yeah,
Yes.
very interesting conversation about platforms, TikTok, and things like this. But you know what I mean? Until these platforms come back around that make it easier, or supposedly had the industry on lock come back around with better, I would just say, nuances for the app, then you know what
Mhm.
I mean? Sometimes you have to make a decision to say, hey, we're going to try this newer platform to see if we can reach more people. And yeah, I'm one of those advocates of why do you have to change things so much? But I'm starting to see even more so now with the Rumble debacle that I had, thanks to our buddy over there on Rumble that helped to break me on this idea.
Accidentally suave. He was suave. He was suave about it.
Yeah, I can't lie, man. I put up a nice little resistance, but nah, you know what I mean? The newer peripherals are winning because of what the standards are doing. And they're trying to use what I think is the old school monopoly idea, but you can't use that in this digital world because it's so wide open for opportunity. And that's why I read from that opportunity is wide open. So that was my learning experience from that. And I thank you guys, Nadine and our homeboy on Rumble for that. You know what I mean? And that's why we try to do the sessions so well. So because we know we have individuals that like to connect.
Yes.
And we just like to connect to have an open environment where, yeah, you can debate if you want to call it and conversate, but we always keep things at art. So we say, excuse us for talking art.
We
But
will
we
talk
always
art.
like to, yeah, we always like to keep it towards that.
Yes.
And line, shape, form, light, and surface is part of our mantra, you know, to start off conversation.
But you know what I really appreciate about our paths crossing to be in this space right now is the fact that you eat, sleep, bleed art, I guess. And
Yeah.
you're just always in that space. And also accidentally suave said, "Oh, thanks, you guys." But it's like, just even as just say to accidentally suave, I mean, it's that's why I appreciate Don so much in terms of challenging what we say, or when we're responding about what you're seeing, like, why was I surprised about being able to
Do this.
bring this to life on this piece of paper. And it is because I felt like this is like a new chapter, and that I'm so excited that we're sharing this with our art fam. And we just want the art fam to get bigger and bigger and bigger, to have these light bulb moments. Like, I'm having a light bulb moment, and I feel like there's somebody else out there watching this
There's
video
somebody else out there. That's why
having this light bulb moment.
yeah, that's why he responded the way he is, because, I'm not trying to fluff it. I'm just trying to say, how would you see it if you was walking down the street, your own block, your own area? What's going on? How would you depict that? Forget about trying to do manga and all these imaginary spaces and places.
Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with
Nothing wrong
manga.
with that. Nothing wrong with that. Because everything that I'm talking about is what those animators use to bring that to life. So they would admire what we're saying, because it forces you to look at your surroundings. Something does come from nothing, but nothing is really something. Because that nothing is your experiences. That nothing is the experience of you smelling different air content, you feeling the sun at different places, you feeling a cloud let it off as condensation, or just sitting up there being as a reflective for the sunlight. These are all experiences with edges, with shapes, with forms that take up space that you are having at a live moment. If you look out a window right now, you're having an experience with true dusk. Everything is turning blue, violet, and purple. And now whatever color your lights are in your yard and everything, it would take on that experience.
I was just looking out the window.
Yeah, so now if I with this one that we're doing here, it would be all in line. But then say, for instance, the sunlight that we have is totally at the dusk point. Now, when it's totally at the dusk point, then we have to say, okay, that's nighttime now. But the sun is out of that area, or out of our area that we're saying that we're in. So then the tonalities and everything would change. The density of the clouds, or the perception of the clouds, would change. You see, the density and the shapes of the fauna would change. The flora would change. We could put a dog in there. You could put an animal in there. I heard the thing about cats earlier, but cats in water don't really work too well. Not unless you got a jaguar. If you got a jaguars are the only cats I know that love water and go in there and jump in there and get an alligator out. So, you know what I mean? Not unless you got a jaguar cat, Sue-Ann. Would you have that cat outside at this pool? But not unless your cat is different. Your cat loves the pool. That would be a different and strange phenomenon. Because most non-live cats that we know in our world, the only one that I know of that goes in with a purpose is a jaguar.
Right.
All the other ones, the lion and all of them, they'll get close, they'll get in and run around a little bit, but none like the jaguar to go and hunt, jump in the water, go underwater, and pull out an alligator.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a cat. That's an ultimate cat right there. He's really about it. You know what I mean? So
Right. Oh,
I don't know if I want to have that type of cat that can jump in the pool.
Right. Right. You know, speaking, we were talking about clouds and having a light bulb moment. Accidentally Suave said, studying my space is how I had a light bulb moment, that the darkness and the shadow in the clouds aren't usually just gray. There is a
Right.
blue undertone to them.
Right.
And then he says as well, but wouldn't have known until I really looked at them.
Observe, right.
You got that, Accidentally Suave.
Accidentally Suave, that's what we're all about over here. Just putting most of the things that you're going to do, it's not that you don't know how to do it. It's just that you don't observe these. Human beings, we're so quick. Our attention span is cut short now. And we really don't love and admire our surroundings that we're in. How beautiful this terrain that we're in, whether you're in a mountain terrain, whether you're in a tropical terrain, whether you're in a desert terrain, whatever it is, we've stopped looking at the beauty of what a breeze is. You know, just to sit there at a lake and feel a breeze, or at your pool and feel that breeze come over the fence. You know, these are all the things that are human, so that we can use and supply ourselves with experiences to pull something from nothing.
This is exactly what I started doing after we had the last cloud session that I was at.
Way to go, Swan.
Started stopping and looking at the clouds.
Yes.
Yeah.
Feeling the breeze.
Yep. Then it goes further. Imagine when it's raining. Why do we like, spring rain? You know what I mean? When it comes. And then you close your eyes and just hold your head back and you feel the phenomenon of fresh rain hitting your face. And then you look around and see how it's dripping off the leaf. You see how we get these images just from the natural phenomenon? See how you smiling, Sue? Because you know those experiences in your mind when you walk around. And you go, oh my God, it's such a beautiful day. The water is doing this, and the sun is refracting from the sunlight, and the dew is going through the water, and we got all these reflections. Look how green this is. Look how blue this is. And, but all I'm saying to everyone is fall back in love with looking.
Yeah.
Observing. And that's a human form too, because we got two arms in here. So even just looking at the human form, not to be narcissistic, not to say, oh, women do this, men do that. No, just look at the human form and how beautiful the form is. How it's always in motion to learn something, whether you're conscious of the learning or not. It's a biochemical computer that's always set on learning. Think about that.
Think about that.
Yeah.
Well, Accidentally Suave is thinking about it too. He says reference photos were a game changer for me too. And I think, I do that from time to time, especially in my travels, is to take a photo. And some of those photos we actually use as references for our segment. So definitely 100%.
Yeah, think about this, Mr. Well, you said Accidentally Suave, right? I always be killing his name.
Accidentally Suave.
Yeah. Think about this. Back in the day, before the 90s, you would have to go to a 1-hour stop, develop and go type of spot.
Right.
All right, you would have to go through a whole bunch to get reference material if you didn't look at periodicals, newspapers, and magazines.
Right.
But look at the era we're in now. We're in the digital information era. That means I could take 2,000 pictures a day and then eliminate 1,500 of them and still have enough to be able to say I got my own catalog. I don't have to buy a file cabinet. I might have to buy an external hard drive, you know what I'm saying? To extract it off my phone, the tablet, and then to place it not even on my laptop or home system, to put it right to a external hard drive that specifically just is all about housing the images that you can create from.
It's amazing. It really is amazing.
It's crazy what you can do right now. All I do is take pictures all day. Sometimes I stand places and put my camera on panoramic and just turn around and let it go.
Yeah.
Pop, 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 pop. All right, I captured that environment. I'll look at it later to pull it down, to zoom in on areas to see if opportunities of creation, or I'll look, wow, look at the color in this one opposed to this one that I took yesterday. I think I want to use the color in this one.
Yeah.
And then use the computer to break down the vibrance of the colors in the picture to be able to say what colors you're going to use out here to bring it back to life. Cadmium orange, different things like this, primary yellow, you name it. You can pick the colors even better. So yeah, awkwardly suave. Make your
accidentally
own
suave. Yeah.
Accidentally suave. See, I started mixing up accidentally suave.
Because he ain't awkward, but he's accidentally.
See, I start thinking other terms because I'm thinking MC and how you would. You see, I'm a total 80s, 70s, 80s, and part of the 90s baby, man. So excuse me for that, man. Excuse me for that. But you can make your own files, endless of specific things. What if you're just investigating, I would say street corners? So you can just go around and just take pictures of street corners and make a file for that. And every street corner you see, just will put it in that file. So you can see how intricate it can get. You can say, oh, I have a certain tendency to want to paint, beach balls. So you would have a file for just wherever you would see beach balls. You would have numerous pictures of beach balls from any conceived or preconceived angle or point of view to build your own file cabinet. Norman Rockwell and these guys did that. They had their own file cabinets. Da Vinci, Michelangelo and these guys had books that had reference croquis in them that they would purchase from other artists to have in their studio so they could use as a reference for a point of view of the human body or a certain plant to use. They would go around to other artist studios to buy what they would call that then, a reference book then, I guess?
Yes.
Yeah, and that's the origins of reference books for artists, because they would sell their croquis. Somebody will come over your house, oh my God, Don, these drawings, I love them, man. I mean, they give me the idea of the angles that I want to use. Do you mind if I purchase these to use these, Don, as a reference, in my studio and in my working method? And then I will work out a price with them and say, hey, yeah, man, why not? Or better yet, wait until I come to your studio and see what your old studio has to offer to me, and maybe we can barter these back and forth. Some of the artists did that back then. Now, I'm not saying we should do that now. We're living in a different era. I'm just saying what was done to get us to this point. You can't look past that. So now we have digital references to the point where we can take red lines and write out things or write notes on them that we want to remember. Or I can do a audio recording of that moment when I was in that space and save that recording like, oh my God, I just love the way the clouds was looking today, man.
Yeah.
That's why I had to take these pictures. And you left yourself your own voice recognition of yourself and of the emotional state you was in when you saw these things. So that can help to induce to something from nothing even more once again. So yeah, everybody, I'm an advocate of that. And awkwardly suave, thank you for your responses. But that's what it is. And that's what I want to try to induce, the idea of how you can observe around and really use the finite of what's around you in the terrestrial plane that you're in. Because all the great ones did it. Kandinsky did it. Duchamp did it. Look at all the great ones, Edward Munch did it. You know what I mean? Van Gogh definitely did it. And he did it on the altered side of life too as well. If you know what I mean. He drank, Amsith. Amsith is, snake venom with sugar, you know what I mean? Over ice, basically. So that's what he would drink before. And he probably did other things. Who knows? I don't know if opium was there around him, but opium was out
probably was. Yes,
but
it was
what I'm saying, these things were at work during those times when he was in Europe. And most of that stuff was being imported that way if you check the times for it. Matter of fact, most of the wars that was going on was over those things, if you look. So just to make small notion, that's how art helped me understand history better. World history, I started to understand through looking at and observing war and art. You think about it, the artist had to be the photographer back in the day before that type of film and industry was made. The artist would be sent out to take pictures, take visual pictures and paint these areas of what that war looked like.
Yeah, how did we get the maps that we have? You know, the maps with the terrains. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. And now you can see why they're always being redone until we got to the era where we at now, where now you send a plane up there or, you know, supposed satellite at that point to take, you know, real photographs or footage from above. And they're doing the same thing. They're doing past the idea of sonar to map the bottom of the seas. They're actually sending, you know, different little modules down to really understand those terrains now. So, you know, it's a beautiful conundrum that we're living in, everybody. Explore it, observe it, love it once again.
I know.
Don't ridicule it and say, oh, this is wrong and they're doing this and that. No, look at it and say, why do I love it? Why do I love putting a marigold in the ground around my house? Why do I love watering my plants earlier in the morning and watch them look different? You know what I mean? In the morning when I'm watering them that early. You know? That's why I say chase the why.
Chase the why.
Yeah.
Chase the why. I'm writing that down, y'all, because
we
sometimes
already got a t-shirt for it. You can go to the spot, but think about it. If you chase the why, do you have any issues? Why is water wet? You know what I mean? If you chase that notion, you may bump into something. You know, why is the sky blue? Nobody can really tell you those whys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why are clouds white and fluffy? They can allude towards it, but there's still room for you to perceive it, to come up with a notion on why that entity that we're looking at is called a cloud. It's not a closed situation. It's still open. It's open for you to have the experience to say what it is, whether you get in a hot air balloon to get up there or not. Or if you're in a plane to look down, you know, it's not the issue. Is that, do you understand or have a feeling or a love for what you're in? I say start loving and caring about that, and that'll help you in a lot of other situations in your life at that point. That's the way I instruct when you have the therapy aspect of it, everybody. When you're just coaching and stuff like that, you're just trying to get yourself in the understanding of, my God, what am I living in? Or if you can't say, my God, you'd be like, wow, what am I living in? Look at the power of that sun. I still don't know what it is, but I call it a sun. You know, look at the room that's open for you to actually investigate what the sun is. Nobody can really tell you what it is. They try to tell you that it's 92 trillion miles away, but you're seeing it as a local phenomenon. Right there, you have to argue in your own mind what's going on. And what am I seeing? What am I doing? Why is that thing there? Why do I feel what they call heat? You know, why is everything yellowish off of it? Why does it make orange and all these other colors when it's at the horizon line at different times of the day? Like right now, it should be looking kind of beautiful outside. What time is it? It's 7:45. In some of the areas on the East Coast, you should see some real dramatic sunsets. We had a lot of moisture in the air, so that's going to make a lot of cloud cover. Warm front from the south, cold front from the north. Yeah. So you can see these clouds, everybody. Start to really appreciate it. Clouds is the best ones to do it, because, you know, you can't say you haven't seen a cloud, everybody.
Right.
No matter where you're at in this world, you're going to look out your window and you're going to see a cloud somewhere. Now, whether that's what we would call a real cloud or a makeshift cloud or man-made manipulative cloud is another situation. Because we got
Mhm.
different types of names of clouds because of the manipulation of weather, everyone, unpronounced
Right,
to
right.
everyone. And you can
Mhm.
put it in on Google and put it in a search and you'll see it. And then if you're old enough, if you're over 50, you can remember when John F. Kennedy Jr. stated that that was going to be the American situation going towards the future, which would be weather manipulation. He did say as an absolute term quote, weather manipulation. Now,
Mhm.
everything he said before and after that, I don't recall absolutely. I was a little kid,
Okay.
so I don't recall that. I won't lie to you like that, everybody. But if you go to YouTube, you can get that speech and do like how I did, rewatch and be like, oh, okay. Now I see why some people were upset and some people were like, yay, for young John F. Kennedy to say what he said because,
Mhm.
and then he said something about space wars too as well. So, and then that
Mhm.
lets you know. So if we observe these things and observe these phenomenons and look and understand them based upon your firsthand experience, then that pulls your imaginary world, your subjective world. And now you
Mhm.
can make anything you want to make, you know what I mean? But for today, what we did was something from nothing. And what you see in the blue and red idea is how we took it in and made it a pool situation in a backyard USA in suburbia USA. And then with the new idea with somebody being all caught up with their tablet or their phone, but we still
Yeah.
didn't let go of the idea of a drink and a rubber ducky. So
Right.
you got to think how some certain things are just going to move forward. I don't think the rubber ducky is ever going to go out of style or
No.
ever be looked at as mundane. You
Uh-huh.
know what I mean? From generation to generation, everybody loves the rubber ducky.
Right.
So I love my rubber ducky in the bathtub. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna lie. I had a
Mhm.
whole bunch of them. You know what I mean? Different colors of them and everything. And
Mhm.
I don't. I have to go to storage and look for the Polaroids that I had of me in that during those times. But they might be a little bit older now because I didn't put them in protective weatherized things. They may be a
Mhm.
little bit damaged, but I do get a kick about looking at my older pictures of when I was a little guy in the 70s, experiencing life for the first time,
Mhm.
experiencing family. It's just, it's good to look at pictures, everybody, to understand your surroundings. Bottom line is to pull from your everyday experiences, past, present, and maybe the future idea projected is the key
Mhm.
and optimal thing of being human, everybody. So enjoy and do so.
Yes. My goodness.
Yeah,
My.
it's a lot going on, man. I mean, it's so much that you can explain from just a picture like this, man. We can talk
Mhm.
about social economics.
Mhm.
We can talk about the social mind state or the
Mhm.
psychology of suburbia. Or we can
Mhm.
pose conundrums. Is there still a middle class? Wouldn't
Yeah,
this be
that.
a middle class idea?
Oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah, just from a swimming pool in the backyard used to be the ultimate idea of suburban idea of transitioning from an urban or
Yes.
ghetto situation.
Yeah. Then you're like, I've I have accomplished something because I have a pool in my backyard, you know?
Yeah, that's what that really meant.
Mhm. Mhm.
To get to suburbia to have a patch of grass in the front and back and the sides of your house. What?
Mhm.
This used to be the goal.
Yeah.
To be able to fuel what it is that our country does. It's not that most
Mhm.
people say, oh, they feed. Well, no, we contribute. I'd rather say
Mhm.
we contribute with the taxes and everything else rather than saying people are feeding off of one another. No, you're making a decision to pay
Mhm.
certain things you need, certain things you don't. That's not people eating. You can perceive it as eating. That's another
Mhm.
situation. But
Mhm.
just from doing a drawing like this, most of these assumptions can be made.
Mhm.
Conversations can be spawned. Are those chemtrails? You see the way I got them on the board, they could read as chemtrails, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And then, whoa,
Mhm.
what's a chemtrail? And then now you do research on chemtrails, and is this really something that's happening? Is there
Mhm.
particles being laced on the things around me to bring down or deteriorate my
Mhm.
coexistence in this experience?
Mhm.
That's a nice way of saying it. I tried to come up with.
Yeah, that was pretty smooth, Don. That was pretty smooth.
Thanks, Nadine. I've been working on it, man. I've been
Yeah,
working on
I
it, you
know.
guys.
I know. If only we could get you to get our buddy's name right. Accidentally Suave.
Yeah, people calling him awkward and everything. Oh man,
He
Mr.
ain't
Suave, I'm just gonna
awkward.
start saying,
He
yo,
ain't awkward.
Suave, my bag. You know what I mean?
Just say Suave. That's
Now,
all.
I'm letting you know wherever I come from, 70s, 80s, when we used to do that, we would take your name and just break it down into something more palatable for me. Yo,
Yeah.
Suave, what's up? How you
What's
doing over
up,
there on Rumble?
Suave?
I think I'm gonna go there and let Nadine say awkwardly Suave until you, Suave, come back and say, no, I don't appreciate it that way, Don. Don't dice my name up like that. And then I'll be like, okay, I'll try to get it in my head to put the A word, the proper A word in front of Suave. But I think
Yeah.
I just think that's a cool name.
He's
You know what I
laughing.
mean?
He's like, LOL, y'all can just call me Chris if it's easier.
Oh, my bad,
I
man.
always shorten names. I always shorten names. Like
Yeah.
if you say you're Deborah, pretty soon I'm calling you Deb.
Yep, yeah, you see, Sue Anthony, you and I are in the same league. I'm trying to make it simpler. I'm breaking
Yeah.
your name down. Oh, what? Hey, Suave, Chris, Mr. C. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Yo.
Exactly.
That lets you know the era of hip hop I come from, man. You know,
Yeah.
that'll definitely
It's the
make you,
rock
yeah,
on.
rock on, yeah. You see, so everyone, this is all the beautiful things that can happen just from a linear line drawing. Coming
That's
from
it.
nowhere, but really coming from something, challenging your
Mhm.
experience from what Nadine was saying earlier. You can
Yeah.
see the oneness in what we're attempting to do and what I think we're achieving, showing
Mhm.
the oneness of what we call creativity
Mhm.
of human beings and how every human being, since you've been created, you are a creator, you are an
Mhm.
artist, and any one of
Mhm.
those titles that mean that you make things.
Yes. And, this is just scratching the surface, but, what we did today, and Don guided us, he did that on the whiteboard. You know, maybe even tonight or a couple days later, you might see his rendition of this because that's
Yeah,
how Don rolls.
yeah.
But the point is it's almost like in preparation for the piece that you want to do
Yep.
and that you're marking it out. You're planning
Mhm.
your approach, right? And then the rest is up to you, but we're here to get you
Mhm.
going. And then
That's
of
what I would
course,
say. I would throw in while Nadine's talking, I would just say Picasso, everybody.
Picasso.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did you do
Yes.
that? We could say Jean Claude Basquiat.
Hmm.
He did
Hmm.
that.
Okay.
Andy Warhol did that. Small little erroneous little drawings on insignificant pieces of paper to catch their idea on the moment. Some of those
Hmm.
sheets of paper will look just like what the blue marker is doing on the board.
Hmm.
It'll be that simplified. I can go through all European masters, African masters, any culture you want to look at, and you can see they would all do small drawings. The Dogon would do drawings like this in the sand describe describe different celestial beings and things like that. If you
Hmm.
research that, you'll see. And that some of the German scientists, when they made those doggone mad, just like I would wipe the eraser board, they wiped the sand. And they was like, what are you doing? That
Yeah.
meant so much. And then, the doggone leader or chief was like, nah, you're not ready for that.
Hmm.
Basically, you're not ready for that information. It was my mistake. I got excited by just explaining this stuff. I was told not to go a certain place.
Hmm.
So yeah, this is how thoughts and things can move. Tesla used this idea. He drew out the idea for his Tesla coil on the ground. If you research him,
Hmm.
and how he was coming up with his ideas, extrapolating from this realm. And he said it was flat himself, and then started using the words like firmament and everything else like that. But nonetheless, he used rudimentary, simplified drawings like what you see on the eraser board in blue to describe and to note and to bring to life his idea, his thought of an alternate current, not a direct current like Edison, alternate
Hmm.
current idea, you see?
Hmm. Hmm.
And that's not me from reading. That's from me just watching the movie, then looking around me and seeing as what his observations, is it really true? Can I look at this world the same way he looked at it? He wasn't that far off. He was still in the 1900s. So that means everything was pretty much the same way it's looking now, except for more wires, more fiber optics, You see what I'm saying? That's the only difference. So the air quality, everything else is pretty much the same. Can I see those phenomena now to pull from and do a small drawing of? Yes.
Yep.
So if all of these guys and gals did it, because now they
Yep.
started looking to the young ladies and the women that were beholding of this knowledge or beholding of these experiences or could bring these things out. Now we're starting to hear about these women from those eras that we're alluding to them all the way up to now with manipulating this idea to bring new textiles and things in, understandings of the terrain that we're living in, perceptions of a metaverse, of an alternate universe can come from a drawing. What would the anti to this look like? You see what I'm saying? What would the PDA look like in the alternate universe? You know, a mixoplex. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now you can see where all these assumptions and notions are coming from.
Right. Well, Accidentally Suave, aka Chris, agrees. I like using small drawings to work out compositions for sure. Helps make pieces more successful.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, that's where you get your what's the guy that does it for the director? They're not called croquis. It's just in my mind. You know the deal. The
Producers,
no, not the producer,
directors.
the person that would do the drawings.
Oh.
You see what I'm saying? It's so much of a you see that name is so simple, but it's right there.
But I know
But those
that
guys that do those drawings, they still do those drawings, but now they do them on the computer. They use
it's
the
like for
Pro Tools and
a
stuff.
shot list. It's like a
Yeah,
shot.
they call it a shot list now, but then they had a definite term for it for back in the day that somebody would do these drawings for the manuscript so that then when you start shooting, you can use those drawings. Storyboarding. There you go. The storyboarding.
Can't believe I forgot. But yeah,
I know it's right there. So it's a simple term.
Beautiful concept. Because you're actually saying you have this vision, a visual of what you want to fit in the frame. And that's why you do that. So you know this is a close-up, or this is going to be an establishing shot of the scene, like the or a bird's eye view or dog view, that kind of thing. And of course they use other terms, but mostly it's how the drawing is laying it out.
And that's the storyboarding.
Yep. Oh, Accidentally Suave, he put it up there. Storyboard artist.
Thank you, sir.
I didn't look up.
I like bringing that stuff out to everybody because we have our under 50 crowd, and you may have somebody younger than you that maybe, they have these abilities and you're probably scared, just like how my mother was scared for me. Oh my God, what am I going to do? This kid wants to draw all day. Well, I said to myself, I would do things like what we just did, Chris, and Mr. Suave, you know what I mean?
Yeah, Mr. Suave.
Because so if I can't tell them, then if I broadcast it, Nadine and I broadcast it, then we're saying one of you guys can step down and say, oh no, he likes to draw. That's your son, nephew, niece, whomever, godson. Then tell them they can do something called storyboarding.
Right.
You see? It's not just comic.
It's gotta happen.
Right.
It's gotta happen if you want to give people an idea of your vision of something, whether it's a short movie, a commercial, ads, all of that kind of stuff. It could be a reel. It could be
as small as a reel. You do a small drawing for to say how that reel is going to look to you. So then now you're saying when it opens, I want it to be doing this, and I want the camera or my camera phone to give me this angle if I can get it. Then when you get it, you go through it. You put it on the stick, go through what all your drawings are saying, and then now you put it together on the app of your choice.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you just got to know, these small little things, and you can have a beautiful experience. Nonetheless, it's still something from nothing. And that nothing that everybody says is nothing is really something because it's based upon your actual, tangible, collective experiences. Tangible and untangible, seen and unseen. And that's the only way you can imagine a fourth or fifth or sixth dimension at that.
Yeah. Oh my, you brought in the sixth dimension.
Yeah, I mean,
Don, you
they
going
say
there.
it's like 13 different ones or even
Yeah.
more than that.
Yeah.
But we
Mhm.
don't really necessarily know because nobody has actually come back. We know that they left like an
Yeah.
Egyptian, and then all of a sudden they came back, just like the
Yeah.
cartoons in the movies saying their skin got buoyant again, and their eyes was the same person that they was 10,000 years ago. And they say, nah,
Mhm.
you guys, this is what it really was. Yes, I'm
Mhm.
from that era. Yes, I'm from the 14th dimension. Yes, this is how we exist there. Yeah, my skin is blue, green, or whatever it is, or plaid because of
Mhm.
the eccentric atmosphere that I take in. No one
Mhm.
has come back
Mm.
to let us know these things. We have
Yeah.
alluded towards it. We
Yeah.
have preconceived assumptions based upon our experiences here,
Mhm.
which further shows that your experiences here even help to develop that notion of what is or what can be.
Right.
So this is endless what we're talking about. That's why, Nadine, when
Endless.
you started wanting to have that, no, see, a lot of people don't understand our system or how we come up with the way that we present this stuff. We
It's
have a
organic.
generalized, yeah, we have a conversation or generalized idea. And you was like, well, Don, I want to, how could you really know about, remember that? He's like, how do you really pull something from nothing?
Yeah.
You brought up the notion. I just
Mhm.
reiterated, and then you heard it from me reiterating it. But
Yeah.
it came
And
from one of our conversations of us talking back and forth about what we're going to do when we're off camera.
mhm.
Now, when we get on camera, it's still not formulated.
There's
That's
no
why you may
script.
hear me quiet or you may hear Nadine quiet sometimes
And
because
I'm
we're
like,
trying to figure out where the ship is going.
right. And uh, like one of the biggest things when you hear from artists, they're like, I have an artist block. And they stay in that block because they're just
Uh-huh.
like, it's not coming, it's not coming. I want to do this and it's not coming. And your notion of it is
Have a fart.
just have a fart. Yeah,
Yep,
have
have a
a fart,
creative
let it out.
fart.
And
Yeah.
just let it out and just so what? It's not a pretty fart. It's just, you're
There
just
you
gonna
go.
you're gonna do it. And then the whole idea is this is through repetition,
Yes.
it comes out.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it becomes entrenched in your cellular form, if you want to say.
Mhm.
Now,
Mhm.
the 72 trillion cell membranes can all work in unison with you
Yes.
to bring this
Yes.
all to life because a cell membrane is a
Mhm.
brain, and now your whole body knows it, and
Mhm.
ta-da! You're
Mhm.
doing line, shape, form, light, and surface naturally without even
Mhm.
thinking about it
Right.
I'll
through
tell you what,
repetition.
I'll tell you what
What
my
was
notion is. I'll tell you what my
Uh-huh.
notion is. If I
Okay.
can't get, if I can't get anywhere with what I'm doing, I walk away, do something else, maybe even start another project, and then come back to what I was doing before and look again because those are new eyes
There
Yeah.
you go.
now looking at
Mhm.
that.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed,
Mhm.
Sue Ann. That's an excellent way. And I always say, yeah, do that one. Go have
Mhm.
lunch.
Yeah,
Go get
go
an
have
icy.
go eat
Go watch
something.
TV. Yeah.
Don likes to eat, y'all. So
Yeah, Don loves to eat, so I'm gonna go get a Rita's icy. I'm gonna go
yeah,
buy coconut water and watch the guy
yeah.
cut the coconut, open it, and then drink
Mhm.
it right on the spot for him, and then get the meat from the inside and eat it. Yeah, I'm doing all that stuff.
Woo.
Because it's an
Yeah.
adventure. I can ride my bike out and not come back to the studio right away.
Hmm.
Sit someplace, look at the sky. I'm with you, Sue Ann. But I like
People
to throw my
watch.
food in there. You're right, Nadine. I may stop and get a chicken cheesesteak somewhere. Or I may see a
Yeah.
vegan spot that may have a vegan cheesesteak. Oh my
Hmm.
God, I gotta test that out. I don't know what type of beans they're using or what type of wheat protein or gluten they're using. Hey,
But
let's
are
see
you
what I'll taste
believing
over
it?
there. What'd you say,
Yeah.
Nadine?
But are you believing it when you eat it?
Right, exactly. That's another one. But nonetheless, if I get
Hmm.
frustrated, like Sue Ann was saying, I got to
Hmm.
get out of there.
Hmm.
But I won't throw it in the trash.
Hmm.
I'll never do that.
Hmm.
I come from a situation where you couldn't throw away paper. I had to reuse it and use it again.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why I'm not an advocate of saying, oh, well, that didn't work. Let me just throw that away and then start another one. No, let me put that
Hmm.
one to the side and start another one anyway so I can come back to that one if I need to. But I don't throw it away. No, that could be used for something else. I can white that out. I can paint over top of it. I could take a big old plastic pink pearl eraser and erase everything out and then reuse that piece of paper. So if you're like me, you like to conserve. It's not that you're conservative, you know what I mean? But I like to
Yeah,
conserve, you know what I mean? So I can have plenty to work towards these future ideas that I have.
right.
Then yeah, you know what I mean?
Because it could be very well something to pull from later. Like if,
Yeah. Well, that's what
so
Francis Bacon did. That's what
mhm,
other artists did. They took those canvases and they stretched them out and painted over top of them. That
mhm.
idea didn't work then, but I'm not throwing away the canvas. I'll just put it to the side, take it off the stretcher bars, step on it a little bit, let it get destroyed or deconstructed a little bit. Now put it back up and look at what the notice ideas with, like how Sue-Ann said, with fresh eyes. How
With
would that
fresh
look?
eyes.
But just
Yep,
looking at it.
I
What new
agree.
things can I add to it? Because I'm not, anxietied out about this no more. You see what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, way to go, Sue-Ann. Thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tell you, I mean, we
So I still
really,
had my coffee, everybody.
you have your coffee. I didn't
Yeah,
really
I
drink
put the
much
baking
today.
soda reminds everybody. So I have baking soda today since we started later in the day to give me a better kick because I knew how I was going to be. Sometimes this time of the day I start to waver, everybody, because I get like that's when my energy levels start to drop until
Mm-hmm.
I start eating something again and drinking
Mm-hmm.
things, not drinking bad things. Pause, everybody. But like
Pause.
drinking like some fruit juice or some water or tea
Mm-hmm.
or like how I'm doing now, coffee or something. It's not too hot. It's not too cold. It's moderately okay. But I just
Okay.
had a need for a coffee. Normally I
Mm-hmm.
drink the green tea, everybody. So
Mm-hmm.
I make my own tea bags and all of that. So I'm one of those, everybody. If you're like that too, give us a hit up. Mr.
Yes.
C, Chris, let us know if you're one of those that likes to make your
Are
own
you a
tea
tea
bags.
man? Are you a tea
Yeah.
bag man?
Yeah. Are you a tea man, a
Are
tea
you a tea man?
connoisseur?
Or
Do
is
you
it
take your
coffee?
fresh leaves and make your own? I know Sue-Ann does.
I
I
do
don't know, Nadine. I
sometimes.
think you do, Nadine. Don't you?
I
You,
do.
you go?
I
Yeah.
have I have a drawer that is just full of like loose tea leaves
Ooh. Okay.
from Japan, China. Oh, yeah, accidentally suave says loose leaf tea. Yeah, buddy.
Okay. Chamomile is mine. I got a whole mason jar full of chamomile.
Okay.
Yeah.
Darjeeling is mine. Uh,
Okay.
accidentally suave says white and green teas mainly.
Ooh, I haven't had that before, Mr. C.
The
You know what I
white is
mean?
not bad. White is not bad at all.
Okay, all right. That's something new. I normally just do the green tea and I get the loose leaves,
Mhm,
but I don't know exactly where. I think that one's from Japan that I get. I'm not sure.
mhm.
But they have these new guys in California and in certain places in the Midwest that's starting to do that type of growing too.
Okay.
So we can have, because you do have an American version of most of those, and I know you guys know. I know Sue-Ann knows, because when you
Mhm,
study that idea of different terrains, and Nadine,
mhm,
I know you know because you travel, so you see the
mhm.
differences when you go. Like when you went to Japan or went to China, you saw the differences in the plant life and everything out there, opposed to the
Yes.
sunlight and the plant life
Yes.
here. And
The
then
fruit.
they have
Oh my
ginseng out
God.
there, and then they have an American ginseng here.
Mhm.
So every terrain has the same type of plants, but some is going to be stronger than others, but they the same derivatives. So it's fun to investigate that way, everybody.
Mhm.
So
Um,
especially if you're doing your Fest Fever. Oh, I'm messing up names, Nadine. I was
rest
trying to do a
fever.
drop. Rest
My rest
Fever.
fever. Yes.
Yeah, I was
My
trying to
my
do a
travel
drop.
channel.
Yeah,
My
I was trying
travel
to do a smooth
channel.
drop, Nadine, but I messed it up.
Yay.
My bag. I'll
That's
practice
all
it next
good.
time, man.
It's all good. It's
So
travel
when you do your
fever.
rest fever thing, that's when you
Yeah.
want to do that, and everybody can do a rest fever where you just get out and just have an
And
adventure.
just have an adventure. Accidentally Suave says, generally speaking, white and green teas come from the same plant, but the
Oh,
white tea is picked sooner. Man, he's dropping a
there
tea.
we go. Thank you, Mr. Suave. Okay,
Now
Mr.
we
Suave.
appreciate that. I
Put some
did not
respect
know
on your
that.
name, sir.
Respect. And
Mr.
if
C.
y'all hear water in the background, I had a leak in the
Ooh.
bathtub, and a
Oh,
friend of
okay.
mine came over and so graciously is helping to fix it. So
Shout out to
I
him,
keep,
man.
yeah, definitely. I keep looking to see, is he done? Yeah,
Right. But shout out to him, man, for his
yeah,
plumbing
yeah.
skills. Yeah.
Yeah. Lucky
That's
to have
all I'm
friends like
saying.
that.
What?
Oh, it's hard. It's hard. It's hard. You know,
Yeah. Wow,
yeah.
it's 8 o'clock already. Look at
Yes,
that.
we are there. We're definitely there.
Now, they think I will say with the shift, the only thing that feels different
Mhm.
is my energy level. That's it.
Okay.
Because I ran and did everything else today. I did everything I normally do after our class in the morning earlier. So I ran and did all the laundry and everything else and taught the
Mhm.
other class. So the only thing that feels different is the energy level. What I do like is we got more participants and it doesn't seem rushed or anything because everybody
Yeah.
is in relaxation on the
Yeah.
day. I had to
Yes.
catch myself because I almost fell asleep before we came on. That's
Uh-oh.
why I came
Yeah.
on late
Yeah.
because I was napping. I was like, oh crap, I shouldn't have ate that sandwich
Yeah, because it will put you to
before
sleep.
6 o'clock.
So Ed, for those that are with us right now as we come to a close, what we want to do is we want you to do is we want to hear from you. Do you like this time slot of 6 p.m.? Don, yeah, he jam-packed a lot of stuff today, so he was like
Mhm.
ready for his nap.
Yeah,
But
I'm not gonna lie, everybody.
yeah, but we want to hear from you. If you like this time slot, we really want to get out there and reach as many people to get them to creating
But I
something
do
from
like the time
nothing. And
slot though, Nadine. Not to cut you
okay,
off. I'm sorry. I do like the time slot though. Feels pretty good to
okay.
do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it feels pretty good too. And I don't know, Don, if you thought it was uh if well, we can talk about it later. If it was a thing of you wanted to try 4 to 6 or
It doesn't
five
matter
to
at that point.
seven.
No, it
Yes,
doesn't matter because what happened was is that you know how I get. So it's like I'm a person that likes to be a creature of habit. Once I
yes,
get a rhythm set, I like to stay there and I'll be
yeah,
committed to that
yes. Me
flow.
too. Me
Yeah.
too. Oh,
So, but with
and
this happening and this just
mhm,
happening, I have my own epiphany moments that you guys
yes,
supplied for me. Just
yes,
like Mr. C
yes,
supplied me with the Rumble idea and,
yeah.
helping me to see, wait a minute, Don, you got to look around. Just like you ask
Yes.
everybody to look around, you got to look
Gotta
around
look
too to see
around.
how things are transforming and moving in
Hmm.
order to be
Check.
abreast of it. So then
Check.
this is what I'm saying. With
Yes.
it could be 4 o'clock. All
Yeah.
I'm saying is that 6 o'clock, it felt good. So that
Yeah,
means
it does feel
anything
good.
after 1 o'clock feels good. Anything after 3 o'clock feels good then.
Right. Now, accidentally suave, he's still here with us. He says, I like the later time slot. I'm usually just getting home from church when you
Okay.
guys are finishing up the morning stream.
All right. Let's ask Sue Ann because she does that too, Mr. C. She goes to church too. So if Sue Ann is still with us, I can't see if she's still with us or not.
Yes,
Hey,
she
I'm
is
Sue
here.
Ann, how
still.
do you like the new time?
I like it. I like it a lot.
Okay.
All right.
I
Can
like
you
it
give
much
us some
better.
feedback on it, on your reasons why? Because Mr. Suave, our
Oh,
homie on Rumble just said because he goes to church and does other things in the morning. But the reason why I said you, because you're another person that goes
Goes
to
to
the house
church
of
in
the
the morning.
Lord early in the day. That's part of your regimen. So
Hmm.
then that's why I wanted to hear from you about how you feel about how this new timetable is working. Since does it work with what you're doing, or do you feel more relaxed now and not feeling rushed? Because earlier on, I
You
do
have to
admit
rush to
it just
church.
yeah, it feels like a rush, but right now it doesn't feel like that. So could you expound upon that, Swan, if you could?
this is much better. It's much better. I can go to church, do whatever I want to do during the day, and then sit down here and um, do art for 2 hours or whatever. This time is as close to perfect as it can only be. PURRFECT. Great time, Don. I really like this time.
Okay,
Okay,
good.
thank you, Swan, for your honesty, for
Mhm.
really, for real, homie, for
Yes,
real.
yes.
That's the honesty we need to be able to say it, so then Nadine can see, like how
Mhm.
I was saying to her that hey, if switches have to go down, then
Mhm.
they go down. It may be in favor for others that we don't know of. For
Mhm.
me, it's great to have the experience now. At first, I was kind of nervous, like how you said you was nervous about the scene, Nadine. I was
Yeah.
nervous about this time shift. Oh man, are the people that I have on Sundays going to act right? Oh man, am I going to keep this guy that I'm teaching class to on Sunday? Will he still keep coming, or will he change his mind? No, he absolutely enjoyed it, because now he can have an earlier time frame and get that part out of the way. So, thank you, Nadine, and hopefully this works all the way around. Just to
Yeah.
let you know, if you thought something, how would you say, was going to be problematic for your friend over here, that was just my nervousness at first, but now that we have done it, I feel pretty good about it. The time frame is cool. We have Sue-Ann as a period for it. We have Mr. C, Chris, as another one for us.
Yes.
And I thank you guys for your input, because it helps me to have my moments like how you have creatively, you guys. I have it managerially. So this is a managerial epiphany for me. Like, oh well, Don, don't be a creature so much of normalized patterns that you make. But that can also cause issues too as well. So be open all the way around. So that's why I would say my notion of being open outside of my creativity, this helps. And thanks a lot, you guys, and let's keep moving forward accordingly.
Yes, absolutely. So with that in mind, okay to close for today?
Yeah,
And I can go,
I was just trying to throw tidbits out there to fill it in.
Yes. So thank you, everyone. My name is Nadineo. We're here with Don Stephens. Yay. And Joel and our buddy over on the Rumble and all those who actually took time to join us. We really appreciate you. We want you to keep creating, and we want you to stay observant. We want you to know that it is possible to make something from nothing. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. So thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful week. And remember, the new time is 6 p.m. on Sundays. It's still Sundays, but 6 p.m. So we hope to see you again really soon. Take care, be safe, and have a great week. Keep creating, everybody. Keep creating.
I'm sorry, Nadine. I like to do my yell and my little, the old school Arsenio Hall.
Yep. Ha 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 ha.